We've had some fantastic best of threes so far, all of them going the distance, going to game 3, Albino versus Hydra, and now Night Phoenix versus Boss. Now we're moving on to our premier best of 5 matchup. And that is going to be, of course, Snoxtar versus Percival, who also goes by Myosotis. I believe they prefer to go by Percival. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and move into the game, guys. Starting up game number 1 now. And some fantastic games coming up here. Oh, here we go. Phenomenal stuff, guys. And we are getting started. Is this Korean Percival? I believe it is indeed, as their name was in Korean. In the top right corner of the map, the red Infernal player. Looking to start off strong on Broken Crown, it is Snoxtar. And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the blue Vanguard player. Looking to strike it big. In our aftermath arena premiere match, it is Percival. Okay, both players gonna start with a basic unit structure. Conclave going up here for Snoxtar. Meanwhile, Percival going for a barracks as well. We've seen a lot of aggressive Vanguard style so far in our Aftermath Arena 2. Albino, of course, going for a barracks start in every single game, following up his scout attacks with a quick Lancer to try to deny some of the creeping from the Infernals. Okay, quick natural coming down here for Snoxtar, who makes the Conclave but delays the Gaunt just to get that second expansion going a bit faster. Iron Vault going to come down on the ramp. Now starts to go into perhaps higher Therium mining. A Lancer is out on the map here. Do they decide to try and invade into the natural, or are they just going to try to deny creeping? I'm not quite sure yet. This scout just kind of being a menace, trying to prevent any imps from going out here, and really just trying to do its namesake, which is scout. Okay, looks like a meat farm going down on the natural here too. Iron Vault just starting to finish up. Two Lancers now sitting in the center of the map. A third one going to be joining them here shortly. As Percival goes for some pretty heavy Therium mining. It looks like it's going to be another Lancer rush, staying to one base for now. Okay, popping the Bob Overcharge in order to go for that super fast expansion. The Shrine just now finishing up for Infernal. And being able to commit so many workers to building this structure, you can delay your expansion by so long, and it's finished in a few seconds. Absolutely crazy. Really getting the most out of that Bob Overcharge. Love to see it. Couple of Fiends gonna scout. Just looking to see what the follow-up here. Sees the expansion. And it looks like they're going to see the Biokinetics Lab, which should indicate, of course, that it's going to be some Lancer aggression. And another barracks going down as well. In fact, it looks like potentially 2 barracks is going down. Is this going to be a Lancer all-in? This seems a bit too early to try to start going for some medics. Certainly too early for Exos, and we have no Therium mining at all. So this is certainly going to be committed to Lancers here. Very good scout, though, from Snoxtar, who sees what's going on, stays to the 2-base plan, hasn't tried to go for any creeping so far, and a Shroud Stone goes down as well here. Okay, just going for a fast Doombringer drop, as the Greater Shrine is done in the main. I don't know if the scout saw that. I don't think it did. The Doombringer going to intersect with these Lancers in the middle of the map. Lancers see the Doombringer. And is the Bob overcharge back up and online? I don't believe it is quite yet. Gaunts do get dropped out here. Gonna try to take down the upgrade that's being done here. See if they can't delay that. If we are able to get this, if Snoxtar is able to get that upgrade killed, of course, that would be an absolute disaster. Basically GG, I think, especially when you're committed to so many potential Lancers here. Exo's getting made to try and do some harassment against that Doombringer. But not too much damage done here. Now, I still don't think it's going to be committed Exos yet. I got to imagine those Exos were just for the Doombringer. And that the primary function of those barracks is going to be creating Lancers. But as I say that, I see more Exos being produced. So what do I know about anything? Okay, Snoxtar taking a third. Committing to a Shadow Cleft here. Another Iron Vault going to go down as well. As they start to get some of this Therium in the natural. Okay, looks like Percival is also going to be going for their third expansion here. Exo is doing a fantastic job in the main defending against this Doombringer, which is going to teleport back home. Lancer's going to take down this health camp here. This is a bit more of the Lancer style I'm used to seeing. Albino throwing me through a loop in our earlier best of 3 tonight. Didn't once attack a health camp with his Lancers. Seems absolutely insane. And Hellborn, going to be the tech of choice here for Snoxtar. Just trying to stay comfy on 3 bases, get this third base imped up, as we say in the business. Now begins to move out on the map and take these speed camps. Drops the Doombringer here so that they can regenerate more white health as this goes down. And just looking for a healthy number of Fiends before maybe starting to poke into the third or go for another Doombringer drop. This Doombringer, though, quite low HP. Now, I believe you can actually drop the Doombringer, hit this with a Gaunt, and drop it onto those flowers, if I'm not mistaken. But they won't have time for that as there's a big attack happening. Gonna drop the Doombringer, just in case those Exos have that speed upgrade already. Hellborn gonna start getting some damage done here. The Doombringer is going to start looking for some damage over here at the third. Drops into the health camp to start healing up that Doombringer, which already almost back up to 50% HP. Hellborn going to start getting some damage done, but a big attack happening from the flank here as the Lancer Exo flanks from the back here. Bit of an awkward engage as most of Snoxtar's army is not attacking that back flank. Big damage, however, happening to this front portion. A lot of those Exos turning into Fiends. Not able to micro them as they're trapped between the trees. Hellborn Brute going down over here to the right, however. Snoxtar says, I don't care. Just going to continue forward with the speed of those Fiends. Doing an excellent job microing this fight so far, but now the Lancers are on top of those Gaunts. The Fiends just going to move into the natural, going to try and catch these Lancers. Does manage to almost get one pinned up against the trees, but instead you're going to run into the main, try to get some damage done against these Bobs, seeing that the attack has been defended so far. And these Fiends will indeed get cleaned up, taking one Bob with them on the way out. Now, meanwhile, in all of that, a 4th base did go down here for Snoxtar. More Magmadons and Hellborn being created. This is quite an expensive-looking army. I gotta say, I'm a little bit worried as there's not too many units here. But that can be quickly remedied with just a few more Brutes. As now we have almost exclusively Exo coming out of Percival. Couple of Lancers. I see the Lancers were just over here at the health camp healing up. No medics quite yet. And now it looks like Percival going to be going for the 4th base. Both players doing pretty well in their economy here. And even just running these Exos around the map, you can see already how many of them have gotten higher ranks. And that is not an insignificant amount of damage. I think that's like plus 10 HP, plus 10% damage per rank for these Exos. They do need to be careful, though. Hellborn's starting to get some good damage into them, some good hits happening. But there's nothing to catch them quite yet. And nothing to punish them for weaving in and out, so long as those Hellborns don't get too many attacks off. Okay. Lancer, Exo going to start moving in. Now, these Exos, though, are so low HP. If these Hellborns start to get a few attacks on them, they could quickly dwindle in number. Lancers going to try and attack the back flank, get on top of these Hellborn immediately. Some of the brutes coming back to reinforce, dropping into Shrouded Infestation. And the Hellborns, once again, just lobbing these attacks in. Not heading into the Exos quite yet, though. Some medics now joining the fight, going to heal these Exos back up. And I would say that looked like a pretty even trade to me. A few brutes, a few gaunts going down, but the primary tech units here from Snoxtar surviving and not losing any Exos on the side of Percival. Okay, 4th base obviously finished up here for Percival, who is dropping in Armory. What are we going to see out of this? I would imagine an Atlas. Potentially, Vulcan available if they wanted to go for that. 5th base starting up here for Snoxtar. Going to scout with some Fiends and see that the 4th is taken. No unit inside of this sentry post, though. They will need to move something over to this or just a couple bobs to repair. All right, and the Exo medic force grows larger and larger here. Once again, you're going to start taking down this health camp. One of the most vital camps. Actually, I would just go to say the most vital camp for any Vanguard player. All right, and a large attack happening over here from Snoxtar. Magmadon start to move in. Hellborn start to get a lot of damage done against these buildings here. They do, however, shield up their sentry post here as the main army of Exo Lancer medics starts to reinforce the back line. Gotta be careful with these Hellborn here. If they can target fire down some of these Exos, it might turn the fight for them. Magmadon does have the stomp upgrade here, so going to be stunning with each of its stomps. And the Hellborn not going down quite yet. All of the Lancers almost getting taken out. These Exos, though, dealing so much damage. Able to take these Hellborn out so quickly. But meanwhile, on the front side, this Atlas will go down. So many Fiends being taken, and there's not many Lancers here to defend. I think Percival's got to be a bit careful. If these Fiends jump on top of those Exos, it might be a disaster, and they're going to go for it. There's so many medics, though. I don't think it's really going to get anything done here. If the Magmadon had the stomp, maybe a little bit of damage, but just gets taken out there. But a pretty big attack here, taking out the economy of Percival at the 3rd. Losing a good amount of Hellborn for it, though, so I wonder... I don't know if that was quite worth it. Oh, and I missed this. A Flayed Dragon actually out on the field. I can't see exactly how much Animus Snoxtar saved up here, but it looks like it was enough. As the Flayed Dragon starts wreaking havoc on these bobs here. Okay, the dropship going, trying to get these Exos on top of that Flayed Dragon. Looks like it's not going to be enough, though, as these Fiends disrupt the worker lines. And the Flayed Dragon just starts to deal some damage here. Goes for the breath and the Zuck, as it would be. This Flayed Dragon can be a real pain in the side of Percival here, as it has basically just infinite harass here. And as soon as it starts to get some fiends produced, you can take out a worker line so quickly. That Flayed Dragon buying enough time for Snoxtar to rebuild his army. Get some more Hellborns. A lot of Brutes out now as well. And a couple of Shadow Flyers to try to take that dropship down. There's so many medics here. And only a few Lancers to try to tank in the front. Okay, a Hedgehog out now as well. As we're starting to make not a mech transition, but starting to supplement some of our units with some mech. All right, and a very large Infernal army starts to come across the map here. So many Shadow Flyers with this. That dropship is not going to last for long. But now they're starting to get taken out by these Exos. Little bit of army blockage happening here as these Magmadons are stuck behind those large Hellborns, trying to reposition the armies, get the Brutes and the Magmadons in the front while microing that Flayed Dragon so that it doesn't get picked off. Magmadons do activate their Stomp, but Percival able to take these units back. A huge infestation, though, from the Flayed Dragon, immediately sucking up all of that, all of that juicy infestation. Okay, it is starting to get focused down by these Hornets. Where are the Shadow Flyers? One of them there, but does get taken out quite quickly. Only one Hornet remains, as it does get taken out. The Flayed Dragon lives to fight another day. The Infernal army starts to run in as these Hellborn on the backline starts to get a lot of damage done. There's no Lancers to tank anymore, as they just need to kite these Exos back constantly. If this Magmadon gets on top of it, okay, managed takes out the Magmadon just in time. Another Shadow Flyer hit into those Hornets. As the Flayed Dragon moves close again. Gotta be careful, it's so low HP. Oh, it does manage to get the suck on the white health, but it does go down there. As those Exos jump on top of it so quickly. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. As that's a huge amount of army here from Percival going down. Meanwhile, Snoxtar expanding over to the 6th base. In fact, 7th if you count this Therium over here. Wonderful stuff. Both players taking such technical fights, controlling their units so well. Some excellent Shadow Flyer hits onto those Hornets, but able to take that Flayed Dragon down. That's such a big impact to the army of Snoxtar. Okay, a little bit of fighting happening here in the center of the map, though. These Hellborn running back to the Shroud so that they can regain white health in the event that they're damaged. Percival as well, gonna go for a 5th base here. Not quite on 6 bases yet, so about 1 base down. But even just being able to control the center of the map here, it's gonna be pretty big. All these Shroud Stones, though, denying the mining of this Therium if ever Percival tries to go for it. This high ground advantage with the Vision Camp as well. Very effective. Very much so a pain in the butt for Percival to deal with. Okay, we're going to see some fancy Atlas drops, I think, here. One of my favorite things to see as Vanguard is how well they can manage the Atlas drops. Okay, big attack happening over here. Infernal Army comes to defend. A Super Shroud Stone getting dropped as well. And so many Shadow Flyers out here. Percival has got to be careful. 4 Hornets, one of the drop ships as well. The Shadow Flyer can move forward here. Good pickups. Takes a bit of damage on that Atlas, but not too much here. Drops the Nanobot Swarm to try to heal that up quickly. It starts to just slowly but surely pressure the Infernal Army here. Shadow Flyers begin to move forward. But the Exos immediately starting to take that down as the Shadow Flyers don't get anything done and are slowed there. Flayed Dragon does move forward immediately. Breathes and absorbs all of that infestation. The Hellborn getting some excellent damage done, forcing the pull back against this Magmadon here. The units here out of Percival, so congested up. Gotta be careful against these Hellborn. If they get a few good hits on that Exo clump, it could spell disaster. Lancers, though, in the front taking as these Hornets try to take that Flayed Dragon down. It does fly back to the safety of the Shroud Stones as these Hornets look like they will go down. One of them does escape, but more Hornets in production, joining the fight. That dropship does get taken out. No more Atlas drops, at least for now. But all the Hellborns have been, all the Hellborn have been reset. And this second Flayed Dragon, making it very difficult for Percival to try to take this side of the map here. Able to go in and get a bunch of damage done with the Breathe and Absorb there. Moving into Vulcans here on the side of Percival. Not just spamming into Exo Medic Lancer. Another Super Shroud Zone getting dropped. Brutes moving forward. Only one Hellborn to defend against this. It's such an army mismatch. A few more Hellborns in the back. Gonna join the fight. But it looks like Percival's army is gonna reign supreme here. Just trying to fly in and out with that Flayed Dragon. Get as much damage done as possible. Ooh, gotta be careful on that Flayed Dragon. A Weaver moving forward as well now. Gonna grab that Vulcan, take it down. Another breath coming out here from the Flayed Dragon. However, it is pushed back once again against those Hornets. Percival taking the 6-base Luminite. Not able to get this Therium quite yet, but does he even need it? The mains now for these players and naturals totally mined out. Percival does have some workers here. Not quite with the program, but so focused on this fight over here. One misstep could spell the game, so he's got to be careful. Infestation coming down. Does manage to catch a few units. Okay, the Hornet chasing down that Flayed Dragon does manage to take it out there. Hornet's going to safely retreat back to home. Percival just holding this ramp for dear life. Slowly but surely pushing up into the Infernals. Vision Camp getting aggroed by these Shroud Stones. Hellborn getting taken out here. There's so many units here for Percival. And Snoxtar leaves the game. GG, well played. Okay, apparently Vulcans keep shooting after the game. GG, well played to Percival, taking game number 1 on Broken Crown. Snoxtar not able to keep up with Vulcans that never run out of bullets. Excellent stuff. Fantastic game from both of our players there. Percival taking the first game, though. But let's nerf Vanguard. Oh, my goodness. I think let's just immediately head into game number 2 here. We got a best of 5 of Snoxtar versus Percival. We can't let the action grow cold. Okay. Now, game number 2, the map will be chosen here by Snoxtar. What map do they decide to take him to? Will it be a classy Jagged Maw? Yes, it will be indeed. It's my favorite map and yours, Jagged Maw. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, he is down a game, but he's not out. It's Snoxtar. Snoxtar. Sounds like a Pokemon. And in the top right corner of the map, ready to defend against some siege camps, it's Percival. Okay, Snoxtar going to go for a Conclave Iron Vault Opener. This map, all memes aside, quite nice for the mining of Infernals here. You've got the Therium and the Luminite all on one side. You've got this sort of power cluster of imps, if you will. So I've not seen the Scout do much damage on this map here. Look at this. I totally missed this. What is happening over here now? What in the world? He is going to be going for a proxy Shroud Stone. I don't even know. Do you even call this a proxy? I mean, it's just a Shroud Stone being built. Okay. Whoa. Okay. He actually scouts it. Must have seen that imp coming out here. 2 fiends going to immediately rush to the other side of the map to defend this Shroud Stone. Got to be careful with this scout. It can get trapped back there. Does manage to move it out of the way. Now, these fiends do have the DPS to kill that scout, but got to be careful versus the Lancers. Both players sticking to one base currently. Lancer now taking some damage from these fiends, but pulls them back without too much issue. Okay, another Brute and Gaunt coming from this side of the map here. One Gaunt managing to slip through and escape against this bit of a Lancer net, I would say. And gonna start pulling the resource camp here. What? This is such an interesting... This map is crazy, man. The builds have been so varied on this map, it's insane. Okay, one Gaunt does get taken out here. Fiends are gonna try to chase this Lancer down before the infestation leaves it here. We'll make that into another Fiend. Gonna try to steal this resource camp, I think. Oh, I don't know who got it. I wish I could see who got it there. I think the Lancers did, though. So I think that's Percival. Snoxtar non-stop streaming units across the map here. I think Percival did get it. Builds the command post out of range of the Shroud Stone. A good call, you could say. Scouting with some fiends in the main here. Not going to try to go for any damage as it runs back to try and defend the Shroud Stone here. 2 Brutes and a Gaunt. The Bob is an attacking unit. He's got 1 Luminite in tow. He doesn't give 2 Hex. Oh, and is he going to be saved? Or does he turn into a Fiend? His buddy comes over and heals him. Okay, the Shroud Stone gets taken out here. These Lancers, though, quite low. Need to be careful against these Gaunts. The Brutes immediately turning into Fiends. Oh, got a nice surround on that Lancer, but it's not going to be enough. They're so low HP. Lancer in the back did not get hit by that Gaunt, though, so not going to turn into a Fiend. Kind of a big deal. Okay, down to 1 Fiend and 1 Gaunt, but most of the Lancers have been taken out here. Okay. Snoxtar saying, let's get the heck out of Dodge. Did he delay the expansion enough? I don't know. No Bobs getting killed there. No expansion. Now just getting put down for Snoxtar. He was retreating to the center of the map here. These Lancers immediately jumping on top of these Gaunts, trying to take them down. They can just tank so much damage against Gaunts, man. Gaunts just do so little damage to them. The Brute, I feel like if it had turned into those Fiends beforehand and gotten the DPS on those Lancers, that would maybe be all 3 of them dead. As it looks like we're almost able to get 2 of them. Okay, but just going to retreat for now. Okay. Both players still microing these skirmishes in the center of the map here. As this Lancer tries to run around these trees and catch this final Gaunt. Oof. Gaunt does manage to get killed. It's just the lowest level skirmishes of like 1 Lancer versus 2 Gaunts. But now the Lancer number is starting to grow, and they do have the speed increase upgrade, so they will be able to chase down these Gaunts without issue. The other side of the map, Fiend's going to scout into the main. Not going to really see anything of note here. And the Lancers start to push their advantage here. Again, jumping on top of these gaunts as quickly as they can. The speed upgrade going. The Super Shroud Stone getting dropped, though. Ooh, one of those Lancers almost going down. Do they go to this health camp? I think they will. Okay, going to start with Division Camp in the center of the map here as it's non-stop Lancer production here for Percival. Okay, Snoxtar on a Greater Shrine. Doombringer, Harass, dropping in the main here. These Gaunts, though, solo HP. Got to be very careful with them. If those Lancers get even one hit on them, I think that might be enough to kill them. But gonna keep the pressure, gonna keep the aggression going here. Exo in the natural, however, he's got to be careful. Meanwhile, these Lancers going around creeping. Really just, I mean, the resources you gain are important, but just denying those fiends from being produced. Every creep that dies to the Vanguard is one less fiend they have to deal with later. Okay, Doombringer picking up some reinforcements. Going to go across the map once again here. Will intersect. The Scout gets a perfect Scout of this here. Doombringer decides to drop and kill the dog. That ruined all of its plans. Okay, can't pick up the Brute because there's actually a Fiend in there. Okay, but a few Lancers in the main here. Gonna make it a bit difficult for the Doombringer to find the damage it wants. As now Percival starts to take down the siege camp. As one of the Bobs begins to clear these rocks here. Now, if Snoxtar does not see this, I think this might be enough to GG out here, because once you take this first siege camp, you can easily get the second siege camp, and then you've got two catapults attacking your opponent's base. Meanwhile, you can reinforce with Lancer Exo. It's such a short rush distance. This Doombringer desperately trying to find some damage, but it doesn't look like anything's really been done so far here. Leaves the first catapult. Gonna go ahead for this second siege camp. This is a bit risky. I mean, this Fiend could absolutely steal it here. Oh, if he just realized, that siege camp has not been taken yet. He could steal that camp for himself. Okay, a Magmadon getting on top of those Lancers quickly. Exos, though, starting to join the fight. Doombringer gonna drop those Gaunts to try to reinforce here, but there's so many Exos. Okay, Brutes now turning into Fiends. The Stomp upgrade is done, but it's a little bit out of position as these Exos just tear into it and DPS it down. Snoxtar on so few units, and he's about to have to contend with two siege camps here. Or not? What is happening? What? Okay, I'm confused. All right, Percival now starting to push across the map. Gonna send one of his Lancers over to this siege camp, delaying taking them for quite a long time here. Now both camps on the move. Begins to build a bit of a cheeky sentry. Okay. Infestation doesn't manage to hit any of those Exos. It's only Exos here. These Lancers are so close to dead. Exos do manage to kill the Doombringer. And now double catapult pushing into the Infernal's bases. Now, of course, they do outrange the Shroud Stones here. Hellborn gonna start getting some damage done. If they can attack into this cluster of Exos, they might be able to get enough damage done to start making some of these Fiends. Vanguard shielding the low catapult. Absolutely insane. Okay, one of the catapults going down. Hellborn managing to take it out. These Brutes from the back. Gonna try and get on top of these Exos. Not going to get any damage done here. And that is going to be GG from Snoxtar. Percival taking game number 2 with a very interesting siege camp pattern of killing them, not taking them, and then taking them both at the same time. I feel like that's so risky, but maybe that's the play. He felt so in control of the center of the map, didn't feel the need to take it until it was time to go. But GG, well played to Percival for taking game number 2. Guys, as we are loading in to game number 3, make sure to go check out afterMath on Twitter, AME socials, !afterMath in the chat. We'll get you there, doing all the work for you. As we are now loading into game 3. Percival on match point. If he wins game 3, that's it. That's going to be a clean sweep. Best of 5. But it is Snoxtar's pick, and where is he taking us? Well, right back to Titan's Causeway. The first time we've seen this map in afterMath Arena 2. Let's go ahead and introduce our players here. In the top right corner, up 2-0. It is the Vanguard player, Percival. Goes for a bit of a cancel there. Interesting. And in the bottom left corner of the map, he's down a couple of games, but he's not out yet. Hoping to make the series 2-1. It is the Infernal player, Snoxtar. Percival, seeing Snoxtar go for Iron Vault Conclave, decides to cancel the barracks here and just commit a couple of bobs to Therium and more on Luminite. Okay. One Gaunt finished up here. Now, Titan's Causeway, quite an interesting map with so much elevation difference. There's like, I think 3 or 4 layers of elevation. Percival gonna go for an expansion here. Has his natural finish before Snoxtar has even started it. Choosing instead to stay on one base for now. And just trying to micro versus this scout. I love this though. Look at this. The Brute pinning the Gaunt into this little cubby here. The scout is not able to get any damage done. This Brute might go down. Could have microed it out there, but didn't choose to do so. Electing to just turn it into 2 fiends. What a cheeky little spot there. That's so cool. And now chasing down the scout here with the speed boost on these fiends. They are a little bit faster, but not by much. And a barracks getting created now in the natural. He's got to be careful here. Being a bit, I would say even maybe a little bit greedy. As there was only a dog now on the map. If he had decided to attack in with these fiends, I mean, maybe the Bob Overcharge helps you defend this, but look at this. So many fiends running in. Immediately going to jump on top of this barracks here. Actually decides instead to go for the Bobs, which do still have a little bit of lingering overcharge currently. Is the damage going to be enough here? If you start to cascade these fiends in, I think this might be enough. There's still no Lancers out on the field. All these Bobs getting taken out. This is what we were worried about. There's so many fiends able to jump on top of this Lancer immediately. Gonna get an extremely good surround. That Lancer is gonna go down. The final Bob getting killed at the natural as well. And I gotta say, this just looks like GG from where I'm sitting. And it is indeed. Snoxtar taking a quick game number 3. Bringing the series to a 2-1 so far. In a very solid, like perfect timing to attack into Percival there. Punishing a bit of greediness from Percival, not making a barracks until like 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the game. GG, well played. Fantastic. As we now move on to game number 4. It is Percival's Mac pick Where are we going? They played some very solid games on both Broken Crown and Jagged Maw, and are choosing this time to bring us back to Broken Crown. This best of 5 running the gamut, making sure you guys see every map in the pool. Oh, no, wait, we haven't been to Secluded Grove yet. Hopefully we see that in Game 5. We'll see. Well, let's take a look. On match point currently in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, it is the Vanguard player, Percival, going for a barracks in the main and even overcharging the bobs to make it. And spawning on the top right corner of the map, it is the Infernal player, Snoxtar. Okay, Scout sees just an Iron Vault, just a meat farm. No Conclave quite yet. Snoxtar electing to go for a bit of a more defensive play style of Infernal versus Vanguard. Not choosing to really try to go out on the map to creep. Okay, Shrine does go down here. Scout doesn't block it. Brings the second imp just in case. And is now able to delay this brute. Doesn't have to rush it. One Lancer out on the map here. Is it going to try to be aggressive against this? Or is it going to just stay on the resource camps like it did in Game 1? We'll see. Okay, just going to hang out with the resource camps. Take these out early. Seeing a trend in Snoxtar's play on Broken Crown. In the main, Conclave going out. And turning that brute into 2 fiends immediately to try to get some scouting done here. Is going to get a very good scout on the Lancers in the center of the map. Gets the relative power level that Percival is at here. Okay, sees that their natural is just now being taken. Going to try to get some damage done against these bobs, who are currently overcharged, though, so do need to be careful there. And these bobs in the main are also juiced up. Okay, Scout going to run in here. Try to see, is he going for an early Greater Shrine? He's not. In fact, not much on Therium at all at the moment. Okay, Fiend is going to manage to take down one of the bobs there. Very, very nice. Continues the harassment here. Shroud Stone going up in the natural. Both players playing a pretty passive game so far. Just doing a little bit of harassment with their fast units. Okay. Percival going to continue creeping around the map here as Snoxtar goes for the third. I gotta wonder, are we going to see a Doombringer this game, or are we going to try to rush into a Shadow Cleft timing? Kind of remains to be seen here. Okay. Percival scouting around with these Lancers, trying to see, is he taking the speed camp? He's not, just kind of going for a third here. Really, really happy to just play a passive game. Fellhogs around onto that scout. Oh, the imp actually prevents the scout from moving back as well. It's going to have to go through the front door if it wants to get out of here. And a hangar being built by Percival, which means we should see some Hornets coming out here. We've seen Hornets in Vanguard versus Infernal a few times today already. Okay, choosing not to go across the map with the first one. Going to build up a few of them here. But the constant Fiend production here from Snoxtar, really doing a good job scouting. is not going to manage to see that first Hornet here, which would have been a really nice scout, but sees that there's no third. At least not at the triangle location. Gets the Fiend into the natural. Both of these Hornets come to defend, and he sees exactly what he was hoping to see. What is the tech that Snoxtar is going for? Drops a couple more Shroud Stones in each of the bases here. Drops a second Conclave as well. And now just continually spamming Gaunts to hopefully defend against these Hornets here. Okay, 3 Hornets now out on the map here. Percival not really rushing, though, to get these to go and do damage. Just hoping that they're going to hold more of the map as Snoxtar begins to reach that 3-base Infernal where they really start to surge in their army production. They can make their tier 2 units. And even if you don't attack with them, Infernals have to defend against it. They have to prepare these Shroud Stones. Not really an option for them to just ignore it and try to defend with Gaunt. It's a bit risky. Okay, a Twilight coming up as well so that we can get into some Shadow Flyers on this Infernal side of things. And Percival taking the health camp down. Gonna heal up those Lancers there. As a 3rd base and a few more barracks come down as well. Biokinetics Lab is done and upgrading. So would not be surprised to start seeing some medics and some exos here pretty soon. A conservative number of Shadow Flyers so far. The Twilight just kind of making them one at a time here. Might expect to see 3, maybe 4. Again, there's not a mass amount of Hornets here. Just a few. Getting a good scout, seeing a good number here. That's exactly the scout we were hoping for from Snoxtar. Is the infestation going to be enough to kill this last one? It will! Oh, that was so close there. These Hornets so close to dead. Okay. Medics now out on the map as Snoxtar comes in. Going to try and get a bit aggressive into the 3rd base here. The Brutes are in the back, though, and the Gaunts are in the front. I don't know if I love this positioning here. Actually, it works out a little bit better than I thought it would. The Brutes can defend the Lancers from the back as these Gaunts start to take out these barracks here and try to cleave onto the Bobs. Meanwhile, in the back here, these Brutes trying to hold off these Lancers here, but the DPS is just a bit too high, and the healing from the medics just a bit too good. Meanwhile, though, these Gaunts on the lower side almost taking out one of the barracks completely. More Brutes and Gaunts joining the fight here from Snoxtar, turning into Fiends. Okay, Lancer does jump into the sentry post. A Shadow Flyer joins the fight. Might be able to take down one of these Hornets here. Kind of idling in the background, though. One of the Hornets does get taken down. Another Shadow Flyer does attack into them, though. But now the Gaunts are on top of the Bobs here at the Luminite mining. They're all just healing each other, trying to stay alive, and it looks like they will as the Lancers come in with the Hornets to defend against this. Very interesting positioning there from Snoxtar. I thought they were in a really bad spot there, but it actually worked out a bit better than I had expected. Okay. A few Magmadons now coming down from Snoxtar. As he starts teching to deal with the all-popular Lancer Medic Exo composition. With a few Hornets thrown in just for some fun. Just for some flavor. Okay, again, a clash in the center of the map here as these two armies walk into each other. The Magmadons do have the stun upgrade, which will prevent these Lancers from moving back too quickly, but the speed increase from them. Able to get them out of there so quickly, even if they take one of the stuns, they can run out before the second stun gets them. That's crazy. That's so crazy. All right, some Fiends coming out. Going to try and get another scout down to see if this base is being taken. Percival just now getting this command post underway. Snoxtar not quite on a 5th yet. Up to 4 bases, though. Fiends, however, going to slow this base down. Hornets will come to defend, though. A battle being taken in the center of the map. As once again, Snoxtar hopes to hold this high ground right outside of their base. Okay, a Magmadon does activate the Stomp. Doesn't manage to actually get in range of anything to start stunning it, though. It's going to have to pull back here. But the speed from these units, able to jump on top of this Magmadon so quickly. Another one starts to stomp as well. Able to catch some Lancers this time. But goes down to the DPS from the Hornets and from those Exos. And this is the issue against the Vanguard army. They're so hard to nail down here. We do have a Magmadon available on the side of Snoxtar. It does begin its stomp. It gets on top of these Exos, trying to go into the back onto these medics to stop some of that healing. Hornets, however, focus DPS down on that Magmadon, will take it out. Snoxtar, though, getting a, not too bad damage done here, but I feel like losing more units than he's wanting to here. I feel like if you're going to go Magmadons, you might have to go for Doombringers as well. Drop them in the back, do something cheeky to reposition them, get on top of those Exos quickly. Oh my god, I thought that resource camp was going to kill one of those Shadow Flyers. That would have been such a grief. Okay, again, Snoxtar moving out to the center of the map here. Will find a medic for his troubles. As the 6th and 7th base is going down to mine that Luminite and Therium at the top left corner of the map. Gonna clash once again with Percival's army here. Looking a little bit small. The Shadow Flyer is gonna try to dive in on top of those Hornets. Actually, playing it safe. Moving them back here as the Gaunts try to get more Fiends off of these resource camps. Percival is gonna dive in here. Activates the Infestation Circle. Manages to catch a few of those Lancers. Shadow Flyers do hit into those Hornets, but only manage to kill one. Majority of them keeping alive. A totem gets summoned in the center of the map here. Gets taken out quickly by Percival, though. The Gaunts now starting to move on top of these Exos. There are a few Lancers remaining. Scratch that, there's actually a good amount of Lancers remaining, but it looks like Snoxtar's got him on the back foot. All right, gonna pull back to the high ground here. Snoxtar doing a great job, not losing any of those Hellborn. But now Percival starts to weave in a few Vulcans and a drop ship as well. No Atlases to start dropping in it with. Okay, Lancers and Exos running forward. Sees these Magmadons. Do need to be careful. A Super Shroud Stone getting dropped down here. All of the Magmadons activating their stomp. Maybe a little bit of Miss Micro, in fact. As only one of them was in range. Okay. Sky Mine does get taken out here. Medic gonna start getting attacked in the back. But the Vulcans deal so much DPS against these Fiends. Okay. Huge fight happening here soon, I feel. Percival starting to take this resource camp down so that Snoxtar can't use it to turn more of these creeps into Fiends. Bit of a Fiend harass going to come around the side here, and I think just going to go for a scout to see. Have they taken this side base? No, they haven't. Okay, a few Shroud Stones now getting put down, but it looks like Percival able to jump on top of these buildings so quickly. Atlas is getting dropped over here. Oh, but the Shadow Flyer is moving in. The Brutes all turning into Fiends as another Shroud Infestation comes out. There's so many Fiends here. So much DPS. These Atlases, though, getting a good shot into those Fiends. Really taking their numbers down. One of the Shroud Stones does finish just for a moment, but does get taken out quite quickly. These Atlases in the back are absolutely tearing up Snoxtar's army, though. Ooh, this is looking a bit sketchy here. There's only Gaunts to defend here. The only Brute being put into the Fiends. Okay. Now, Snoxtar is up on bases, but is having a hard time getting an engage. And he likes in so many cunts going down to that Atlas. Oh my goodness, this is such a difficult position. to actually attack into for Infernals here as this fancy dropship micro. Oh my gosh, this is disgusting. 2 Hellborn getting killed. Almost a third one being taken down here as Percival starts to attack from the front line. These Atlases dropping on top of the Hellborn. Oh my gosh, getting so much damage done as well as Percival starts to push in, going for that 7th base. The tank's getting dropped as forward as possible to try to take these Hellborn down. And that is going to be it. GG, well played. As Percival takes game number 4, winning our best of 5 series. A fantastic job from him. Both of our Vanguard players showing that Hornets are quite an effective unit for Vanguard to make versus Infernal. Some extremely solid Atlas micro there. Doing so much damage versus those Gaunts and Hellborn in the back line. So well played. What a game. What an absolutely wonderful game there from Percival. GG, well played. Snoxtar making it look so difficult for Percival to take any ground at the beginning of that game. But as the Vulcans start to come out, as the dropship starts to drop those Atlases on top of your army, Infernal kind of just crumbles against that sort of pressure. Super well played. Congratulations to our players, guys. We've got our end results here. Fantastic job to all of our aftermath arena champions here. Albino winning his best of 3, going into Night Phoenix, who won against Boss, and finally Percival taking it 3-1 versus Snoxtar. Absolutely wonderful game, guys. So excited that we were able to get another aftermath arena in before the NDA gets released again. Guys, if you enjoyed these games, definitely let us know. Go follow aftermath events on Twitter. !aftermath in the chat will get you there, or down below if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm sure it's posted down there as well. And guys, if you like Stormgate, make sure to go and support them as well. You can find their late Kickstarter is currently active, I believe, on Indiegogo. I believe they're allowing players to late pledge in order to get access to the beta so that you guys can play. I think, unfortunately, for now, this is going to be the final Aftermath Arena of the current beta phase, as I don't believe we have enough time to get a third one underway. But certainly, guys, keep an eye out for future events that we are going to be running, and keep in mind make sure and support these players as well. Go check them out on Twitter. Go follow them in their Stormgate progress. Mind you, this is only the open beta, so the game's just going to be getting better from here. They're going to be getting more exciting, and already I feel like the game is in such a wonderful place. From me to you, from Aftermath to all of you guys, I want to say a huge thank you for supporting us and the scene, and supporting Stormgate as well. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. GG, well played, and take care, everybody.